Hello class, welcome to lab 4, managing files and directories. This lab is going to be divided into two. In the first part we're going to explore some of the commands that we'll learn in the first lecture, and then in the second part we're going to focus more in working with wildcards. So uh, make sure that you read the, the pre-work before you start working on this. Make sure you complete lab 1 to 3 before you work on lab 4. Don't forget this class follows a projection, right? There is a progress that you need to follow. If you need access to the presentation, just click on managing files and directories. Right there is the third bullet point. All the questions in this lab are going to be on your midterm. Literally everything in this lab is going to be part of your midterm. The same goes for lab 4 part 2. Questions 1 to 4 are going to be worth 25 points, and then question 5 has no value. It's just what you need to practice, stuff you need to practice on. Question 5, literally, there's nothing to give me in that question. Okay, so without wasting much time, let's get to work on question number 1. So for question number 1, we're going to practice creating files and directories. That's the whole point of question 1. So the first thing you need to do is that you're going to create a directory in your home directory, right? I'm not saying the home directory, I'm saying your home directory. So you're going to open a terminal and you're going to create a directory called lab 4, right? So now let's say that, oh my god, what did I do? Let me go back here real quick. Just bear with me, guys. I did something dumb. Okay, there you go. Okay, we're back on track. Now let's say you forgot how to create directories, right? Okay, professor, I don't remember how to create directories. And you know what? Let me put this on this side and let me put this on this side, just for the sake of simplicity, right? So I can see the stuff there as I'm working. So now the command to create directories is mkdir, make directory, right? So in order for me to create a directory on my home directory, first of all, I need to know where I am on the terminal, right? So if I type pwd, it's gonna tell me, oh look, fine, great, amazing, I am in my home directory. Great, so I can proceed and do part 1, and that will be mkdir and then lab 4. This creates the directory with no problem. Right, now change your current directory to lab 4, and what I'm telling you is, hey, you created the directory. Now go inside the directory, because that's where you're gonna work. So we're gonna do cd lab 4. Give me 1 second, guys. Perfect. Okay, now part 2, create 3 directories: pets, dogs, and songs, right? And I can just simply use a single command. All I have to do is separate those words by a space. And the first one is pets, so that would be pets. The second one is dogs. The next one is songs. Done. Inside each directory, create 2 subdirectories called new and old. Wow, this is a lot of work, right? Pets, and then the first directory here is gonna be called new, and then the other one is gonna be called old. And then the same thing I'm gonna do for dogs. Dogs, and then new, and then dogs, and then old. The same thing I'm gonna do for songs. So that would be songs, new, and then songs, old. And let me zoom out a little bit so that you can see the entire command. Now, why did I do it this way? Well, notice that I use relative path to first go inside the folder that I am going to create a directory on, and then providing the name of the directory, right? Because I'm working in lab 4. And in lab 4, we created the folders pets, dogs, and songs. And then, as you can see, pets / new will create the new directory inside pets. Now, press enter, and the work is done. Now, inside the new and old directories, create 3 files: file 1, file 2, and file 3. Okay, so we're gonna do touch, because the touch command is what we use if we want to create an empty file. And then the first one would be pets new. Inside the new and old directories. Okay, perfect. So pets new, and that would be file 1, and I'm gonna do file 2, and then file 3. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change this to old file 1, and as you can see, this over here is tedious. There is a faster and much simpler way to do it, but the whole point of this question is that you practice these commands as much as possible so that you get the hang of it, right? So the next one would be file 2, and then the next one would be file 3. So I got pets all file 1, 2, and 3, and you're gonna repeat the same process for dogs and for songs. I'm not gonna do it here because you get the point. Um, list the lab 4 directory recursively. Now, I'm not gonna do that question. I'm not gonna do question 4. I want you to use the man command to read the man page of the ls command to figure out how you can do a recursive listing of the lab 4 directory. I'll leave that for you. Use the tree command to display a tree of the lab 4 directory, and that's very straightforward. That's just 3 and then lab 4. And as you can see, oh sorry, I'm already working inside the lab 4 directory, so I can just type 3, and that's just gonna give me a beautiful tree of my lab 4 directory. If you want to be more specific, you can use absolute path, right? Right, that way we're even more specific. But yeah, that's about it. That answers question number 1. Now, what do you need to do? You're gonna take a screenshot of your terminal. The screenshot needs to show me all the commands that you use to answer this question, which means that you might have to take more than one screenshot, right? So let me see. I'm gonna take the first one. There you go. And then save it somewhere. I'm gonna save mine in over here, and I'm gonna go inside my CIS 106 directory, right? Because that's the folder that has my GitHub repository. And I'm gonna go back here. Actually, I'm just gonna put it right here, and I'm gonna name this lab. I'm gonna name mine lab 4 image 1, right? .png, and save. And then you do the same thing as you continue working through this through this lab. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna hold your hand. You should be already used to doing this particular process because you have already completed 3 labs in a row. But if you have any question, if you come across something that you know that you cannot complete on your own, just ask and I'll provide you some assistance. Now, that completes question number 1. Let's talk about question number 2. Removing files and directories. Oh, great. Now, change your current working directory to the served directory. And what does that mean? Just use the cd command to go to the served directory. So, I'm just going to clear my screen so that I'm working on a clean canvas. And I'm going to type cd serve. Oh, serve. Perfect. Let me clear my screen one more time. Perfect. Now, remove the file 1, file 2, and file 3 files that are inside the lab pets new directory. Now, that question is already telling you everything that you need to complete it, right? So, obviously, for removing files, we use the rm command, right? And then we provide the absolute path of the file or the file name if we happen to be working on the same directory where the file is located. In this case, we're not. Therefore, we're going to be using absolute path. Considering that relative path obviously is not going to work here because the served directory is not relative to your home directory. Okay, so let's provide the absolute path and let's start with home, right? Because lab 4 is inside home, then lab 4. Notice that I'm using tab autocompletion not only to be more efficient, but to also make sure I don't have typos on my commands. Then new, and then over here we're going to provide the first file, which is file 1. And then we're going to do the same thing for file number 2. By the way, those of you who already read the presentation, who already are a little bit ahead of the curve, you can use wildcards here if you want to, right? I'm not gonna hold it against you if you already are doing more than what you are required to. So by all means, go ahead. And if everybody else, we're gonna get to practice wildcards in a little bit. Okay, so lab 4 pets, and then you're gonna do new, and then file number 2. Right? And then you do file number 3 as well so that you can delete them. Right? If you press enter, it's gone. You don't see an error message, means your command executed successfully. Don't forget to delete also file number 3. I'm skipping it obviously to keep the video short. So let's move along to question number 3. Remove the pets directory without changing your current working directory, right? Now, if we're going to move a folder, right, if we're going to move a directory in Linux, as we saw during our lecture, first of all, the directory needs to be empty. And if the directory is not empty, you must use the -r option of the rm command to remove the folder. Be always careful when you're removing folders on the terminal, specifically when you're using the rm-r command. It's very powerful and it can mess things up very, very easily. Right, so I'm going to move that folder and I'm sure I want to get rid of it. So they want me to remove the pets directory. So that is inside lab 4, and then pets. Now notice that I provided the absolute path of the folder that I want to remove, of the directory that I want to remove. Again, be sure what you're typing. The rm-r command is very powerful. Remove, and it's gone. Now, remove the docs and the songs directory without changing your present working directory. I'm not going to do that one, and I'm not going to do question number 5 either. That's on you. Go ahead and practice on your own. You already saw enough examples for you to tackle that. So let's move along to question number 3, and this one is a little bit more interesting because we're going to be moving stuff around, right? So the first thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to clear my terminal. Make sure that you're working in your home directory. And how do we do that? Just type cd. Don't remember, the cd command by default, without no argument whatsoever, is gonna take you where? To your home directory. That's its default feature. Now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna run this command. So just copy and paste it, and you should be good. Now, this it's gonna download a script from a website that actually a zip file from a website. It's gonna uncompress and it's gonna give you all the files that you need to work, so you can run it safely. Oh, that's a 404 not found. That's terrible. Let me go and fix that real quick, guys. Okay, that should have been fixed. Perfect. Okay, now in your home directory, create the following directories. Now, as you can see, my terminal is almost full. At this point, you should take a screenshot, right? So that you don't save all these changes. And after you take a screenshot of this, clear the screen so that you can work on a clear canvas, like I say. Now notice that you have the lab 4 directory over here. In your home directory, create the following directories: lab 4 images, lab 4 audio, lab 4 video, lab 4 docs. Okay, so let's do mkdir, lab 4 images, lab 4 audio, lab 4 video, images, audio, video, and lab 4 docs. Lab 4 docs. Done. Now, move all the files inside the lab 4 directory to their respective new directories. And what does this mean? I'm just asking you to organize this stuff. Now, if you do an ls, and I'm going to do ls -1, so that it appears in a single column of the lab 4 directory, just to make my life easier. And as a matter of fact, I am also going to sort it by file extension, again, to make my life easy. So, as you can see over here, we have MP3 files, and MP3 files are audio files. So these MP3 files, you're going to move them to the lab 4 audio directory. So I'm going to do an example of this one, of the MP3 files, but I'm going to let you do the rest. I am assuming that if you don't know what the file extensions are, you are proficient enough using Google to figure that out on your own. So let me clear my screen again. If you like me, reach to the point where you have no more space, please take a screenshot. Now I'm gonna do mv and then lab 4, and I'm gonna move I believe song is that. Let me open a new tab, right, just so that I can lx lab 4, right, and we have here audio, silence, and song. Okay, so audio, and then lab 4, silence, I think it's capital S, and then lab 4, song, that mp3, and I'm going to move that to lab 4 hyphen audio. And that's it. If you do an ls of lab 4 audio, notice that my files are there. Perfect. Do the rest on your own. Now, question number 3 says, move all the files inside, question number 4 says, inside the lab 4 directory, you will find a directory called wallpapers, wallpaper lab 4. Move this directory to the pictures directory and rename it to new wallpapers. And now I'm going to do number 4 for you because, you know, I want you to practice and I want you to get it right from the beginning, right? So I can move and rename at the same time. All I have to do is make sure that my destination is also the new name. So mv lab 4 and then wallpapers.lab4, and now the destination, which is inside the pictures directory, and then the name of the new folder, which is gonna be new wallpapers. And that's it. Now, if you do an ls of the pictures new wallpapers directory, you are gonna see, first I'm gonna list the pictures directory. As you can see, the folder is right there, and if I list it, you're gonna notice that the pictures that were once in the wallpapers lab 4 directory are now in the new wallpapers directory, and there is no longer a wallpapers lab 4 directory inside the lab 4 directory since it was moved. Now, question number 5, rename the lab 4 directory to lab -4. I'm not gonna do that one. I'll let you do that one on your own. Now, question number 4, copying and moving files, right? So because you already know how to move them, now let's practice how to copy them. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to pexels.com and we're gonna download 3 wallpapers. So let's go take care of that. So let's go to pexels.com. It's a nice website for those of you web developers where you can get stock photos. Okay, so let's do save image as. I'm gonna name this city, right? Why not? Just to make my life easy. Yeah, let's keep it in the downloads folder. And this one is roses. Save image as roses. I don't know if those are roses, are they? I didn't pay attention. Yeah, they look like roses. And then here, free download. And okay, Pexel Simon Burger. Save. Okay. Copy the wallpapers to your pictures new wallpapers directory. But now, before you do that, you need to realize, where did I place this? Now, obviously, I download them, so they are probably my downloads folder. So if I do ls downloads, notice that my pictures are there. I got roses.webp, and then I have pexels Simon Burger.jpg, and I also have city.jpg, which are the 3 files that I need to move. Now, copy to your new wallpapers. Okay, got it. So let's do cp, right? Because we're copying files, and let's go to downloads, and the first file is called cd.jpg, and then the second file, again downloads, is pexels something, and then cd, and then downloads one more time, and the next file is roses.webp. And then where am I copying these files to? I'm gonna put them inside pictures new wallpapers, and I'm done. Again, if you list the pictures new wallpaper directory, you should be able to see the pictures that you just copied there. Great. Now, next, copy your new directory to, oh, sorry, I'm reading wrong. Create a new directory in your downloads directory. Use whatever naming convention you want. Download 3 wallpapers and move them to your new directory. I'm going to let you do question number 3 on your own. You should have the knowledge to get it done. Question 4. Copy your new directory to the pictures directory. Do that on your own as well. 5. Remove the new directory from your downloads directory. Please do that on your own as well. Don't remember that if you were to remove a folder in Linux, you need to provide the -r argument if you're going to be using the rm command. If you're going to do it the right way, meaning you're going to delete all the files in the folder and then delete the folder, don't forget to use the rmdir command. Examples of this can be found in the presentation. Question number 5 is simple. Read it on your own, practice the man page. That's it. It's just you practicing the man page. Knowing how to read manuals is very important if you're going to be a Linux user. That's just super important. Just practice that. Now, what are you going to give me? Same thing you haven't given me this far. Go to VS Code, create an empty markdown file, put your pictures in there, submit, give me the URL, and you're done. Nothing different. Okay, that concludes lab number 4, part 1. I'll see you for part 2.